Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're going to take a look at the entire lineup of Escort brand radar detectors. Now, when it comes to Escort's detectors, they're generally designed to appeal to a pretty wide audience by being both easy to use and pretty plug and play. Now, there's a lot of different detectors, and so in this video, I want to run through the entire lineup. We're going to take a look at the pros and cons of the different models. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions of each detector, and then ultimately help you choose which one is best for you. And then down in the video description, I'm going to link to all the detectors that I talk about here in case you'd like to pick one of them up that you like here addressed in the video. There's 10 different detectors that we're going to cover. I doubt I'm going to be able to get it all done in 5 minutes, but either way, let's go. So starting off, the first detector that Escort's currently selling is the 9500IX. It's actually an ancient detector that first came out in 2008, 14 years ago. In fact, it was my first detector when I got into this a little over a decade ago. Now, it was a great detector for its time, but here in 2022, you're looking at dated hardware, an older design LED screen, no modern BSM filtering, so you're going to be getting more false alerts. But the main appeal of the detector is it actually has GPS and automatic GPS lockouts. It was actually the first detector to ever get auto lockouts. Plus, the GPS is also going to give you your low-speed muting and your red light camera alerts as well. Now, traditionally, this has been Escort's best-selling detector. It is an older detector at this point, so again, I would not recommend it today, but Escort keeps discontinuing it or trying to bring it back in another name. But people still keep wanting to buy the 9500IX, so it's still available for sale, but I would definitely recommend something newer and more modern if you're looking for a detector today. Next, there's the Escort X80. This is also based on an older platform. There was previously the Passport and the X70, and now we've got the X80. It's also based on the M4 platform, but it's got a newer looking design with a multicolor OLED display. Now, this detector does not have GPS under the hood, but it does add Bluetooth, and so you can pair it with your phone and run Escort Live, and then use your phone's GPS to add back in some of that GPS functionality, including your GPS lockouts. Now, the lockouts here will be manual. You do have to manually lock out every false alert. It's not going to be automatic, but you can use your phone to introduce that same technology. Now, that said, in my opinion, it's a little silly to spend $300 on a detector without GPS nowadays. There's definitely better detectors available with more features and better performance for the same money, but to each their own. Now, the next detector that I want to talk about is the Max 3. This is actually my favorite non-aero detector available currently from Escort. It's kind of like a combination of the previous two detectors. You've got both GPS built in for your GPS features and auto lockouts, plus you've got Bluetooth to let you connect it to your phone to make it easier to change settings or get real-time alerts shared from the cloud with other drivers. Additionally, the Max 3, it's based on a newer platform, which is going to give it even longer range, better false alert filtering, and photo radar detection. And so for all of these reasons, the Max 3 is my favorite non-aero detector currently available from Escort, and the Max 3 retails for $400. Next, there's the Escort IXC. It's $50 more than the Max 3, but it actually relies on slightly older hardware. The range isn't going to be as good as the Max 3. The false alert filtering presentation is definitely going to be worse. Most other detectors, when they false, they're going to give you kind of a weak alert. The IXC likes to give you a really strong full tilt alert like that. Plus, you're limited in the photo radar detection, and so you're going to be not as future-proof as a detector that does have that capability. Now, the main appeal of the IXC, though, is the fact that it actually has Wi-Fi built into the detector. So if you want the detector connected to the cloud, it can connect through your car's in-car Wi-Fi instead of having to go through your phone, which I do find to actually be a better option. That said, when you're looking at a detector that costs $450, honestly, you're starting to look into the realm of higher-end detectors that can offer you features like arrows to let you know where the signal is coming from. You can get detectors with longer range and better false alert filtering and photo radar detection. And in my opinion, all these features are going to be much more useful than having a detector with Wi-Fi alone. And so I don't think the IXC is a bad detector. I just think that there's a lot of better options available today for the money. And speaking of other detectors that are better for the money, the next detector that I want to talk about is the Max 360. It retails for $500, and I would definitely pick it over the IXC to give you the directional arrows. Not to mention it's based on a newer platform, plus it adds photo radar detection. Now, the Max 360, it does lack Wi-Fi, and so instead you're going to be using Bluetooth to get all the cloud connectivity, so sharing alerts with other drivers, you're just going to use your phone instead of an in-car Wi-Fi hotspot. But either way, I think this is going to be a much better pick. I think this is actually probably the best bang for the buck that you're going to get when it comes to Escort's aero detectors. Now, at the time that I'm shooting this video, the detector is currently on sale for $50 off, so $450. And you'll see this price both on Escort's website as well as on Amazon. Now, if you head over to my website, if you click on the deals button at the very top, you'll actually see all the different discounts and deals and coupon codes that are currently available for different radar detectors, and that's where I keep everything centralized. If you're subscribed to my channel here and you see this video when it goes live, you'll be able to take advantage of that deal. If you're you're watching the video later and the deal is gone, you can head back over to the website and take a look at what deals are available at the time that you're watching this video. And so I'll link to this deals page down in the video description, in addition to where you can find links to all the detectors that I talk about. Moving on, the next detector to take a look at is the Max 360C. It's based on the same platform as the Max 360, but it adds Wi-Fi, again, to make it easier to get your detector connected to the cloud. And so if you've got a Wi-Fi hotspot built into your car, or if you regularly park near your house and you want your detector to be able to maybe update itself when you're parked in your garage, or maybe you're parked near your work Wi-Fi hotspot, this will allow the detector to actually keep itself updated over time in the car without having to take the detector home and plug it into your computer and update it that way. Now, besides the Wi-Fi alone, the Max 360C also has an upgraded case with improved build quality. Plus, you've got some additional band segmentation and false alert filtering features that you don't have on the regular Max 360. You'll also notice that with the case design, the arrows go all the way around the face of the detector. I actually slightly prefer the arrows on the original Max 360 just because they're brighter and they're easier to read in direct sunlight. But with the Max 360C, you can still use the arrows just fine while driving too. Now, something to note with the Max 360 platform detectors, there's a long-standing issue with these detectors where they do sometimes fall asleep and they don't properly alert to radar when they should. This is a known issue for Escort, and they've released several updates to actually address this issue. It doesn't look like they've completely resolved the issue, but at the same time, I haven't heard people reporting this issue in quite a while now. I also run a Max 360C in both my wife's car and in my mom's car, and it's been good for them too, but nevertheless, I wanted to quickly mention that issue. Either way, the Max 360C, it's one of Escort's higher-end detectors, and it retails for $650. Next, there's the Redline 360C. It's a lot like the Max 360C, but it has an upgraded platform under the hood to give you even longer alert range. In fact, the Redline 360C, it's Escort's best performing and longest range windshield mount radar detector. Additionally, with this new platform, it is undetectable by radar detector detectors. And so if you need a stealth detector, the Redline 360C is in fact undetectable. And the Redline 360C, in my opinion, it's actually one of the very best radar detectors available on the market. It retails for $750, but that said, due to supply chain issues, it's pretty much unavailable now for the most part. And so it's a good detector, but for the most part, you can't buy it, unfortunately. Now, the next detector that I want to talk about is the Maxcam 360C, which is also a good detector. It's got its own share of issues, but a lot of people are actually using it as a replacement for the Redline, plus it's going to add some additional features. So the Maxcam, it's also got great range like the Redline. Not quite as good, but still actually really good in practice. Plus, it's going to give you even better false alert filtering that you'll get with the Redline, so fewer falses. Now, the main appeal of the Maxcam 360C is the fact that it actually adds a dash cam built into the detector as well. So you're going to be getting not only a radar detector, but also a dash cam too. Video quality with the dash cam is pretty good. It does a great job when you're driving, and it also has some basic parking mode functionality as well. Now, the detector is not stealth. It is detectable by radar detector detectors, but to be fair, most people aren't necessarily going to need that feature. Plus, the detector itself is also physically pretty huge too, so it's also pretty visually visible too. Now, the main downside to the detector is that the new app, Drive Smarter, it's actually pretty terrible. In fact, if you look on Escort's website, they even have like a, sorry, yeah, we know this stinks, kind of apology on their website and goes over this. So the main thing with this detector is if you choose to buy it, you can use Drive Smarter to help get it set up, but I would actually recommend just running the detector over Wi-Fi instead of using the Drive Smarter app while you're driving. If you need to maybe change settings and stuff, you can actually use Escort Live instead of Drive Smarter. But if you want to get the Maxcam, that would be the way to go. So it retails for $850. It's easier to get than the Redline 360C. Range is almost as good. False alert filtering is even better. Plus, you're going to be getting a bonus dash cam as well. And so for a lot of people these days, they're actually going for the Maxcam instead of the Redline. Next, let's go ahead and quickly run through Escort's current custom install detectors. And so instead of a windshield mount detector that you stick on your windshield, you've got the antennas that go somewhere in the grille area of your car. And then inside the car, you've got the controller and display that you mount somewhere as well. Now, their first detector is the IX-CI. This is going to be the simpler and more affordable option. It's based on the same kind of older M4 platform, a lot like the IX, hence the name, but it's the custom installed version. So you've got a separate LED display plus a separate controller that you put somewhere in your cabin. Now, the IX-CI has Bluetooth, so you can connect it to your phone to make it easier to change settings or get the cloud alerts. Plus, it's compatible with Escort's laser jammers. And when you go take a look on Escort's website, you'll see that it retails for $2,200. This is the price for the front radar detector antenna, plus 2 laser jammer heads for the front as well. You can optionally add on the rear antenna for radar to give you the arrows, or the rear laser jammers as well, but the price that you see online, that's for front radar, so no arrows, plus front laser jammers. And then finally, you've got the Escort Maxcam. This is going to be their higher-end custom-installed radar detector. It's based upon a newer platform, which is going to give you much better performance, longer range, better false alert filtering, plus it's undetectable by radar detector detectors, which can be helpful if you're going for something more stealth and hidden and custom-installed in your vehicle. It also has a more modern, multicolor OLED display, and the Maxcam, along with the Redenso RCM, it's one of my 2 favorite custom-installed radar detectors currently available on the market. Now, it retails for $2,000 to get just the front-facing radar detector antenna, and another $400 if you want the rear antenna to give you the arrows. If you go take a look on Escort's website, you'll see an MSRP of $3,600. That's going to be for the full Maxcam 360, which is going to be both front and rear radar, plus 4 laser jamming heads. So you can do maybe all 4 up front, or maybe 2 in the front and 2 in the rear. And so if we wanted to then just quickly summarize, maybe just with my favorite Escort detectors, my top picks, when it comes to non-arrow detectors, I like the Escort Max 3. And then if you're wanting to add arrows, but you don't want to spend a ton of cash, there's the Max 360. If you're looking for a high-end radar detector, there's the Redline 360C. If that's unavailable and or you'd like to add in a dash cam built into your radar detector as well, there's the Maxcam 360C. And then finally, if you're looking for a custom-installed radar detector, their best option is going to be the Maxcam or the Maxcam 360 if you get it paired with their laser jammers. But I think maybe the best way to go is to actually just get the Maxcam, Escort's radar detector, and then pair it with a better laser jammer like the ALP or something. And so anyway, yeah, that's just a quick run through as far as Escort's current lineup here in 2022 of all their different radar detectors, both windshield mounts as well as the custom-installed ones. And so, whew, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.